All right, good morning, guys. Back at it with another MLB DFS video. I really don't want to talk about yesterday. I don't think Funk does either. The only good play was a 3 to 4% um, Ryan McMahon Coors bats of Houston didn't get there. Brian Wu only went 3 innings. The Giants put up 11 runs. We had Wade, Conforto, and Jack Peterson. They did nothing, basically. Just overall, kind of a bad slate. Um, Braves continue to ruin everything. Final score of that game was Arizona 16, Braves 13. You pitching sucked at the beginning of the slate too, and I was kind of hoping that if our bats got there, we can get to like 25, 30 roughly, and we'd be fine. Once I got out of work, I just stopped checking. I didn't care anymore. But anything else to add? I mean, that pretty much summed a lot up.
Yeah, there were 12 teams that scored over 9 runs yesterday. So since we had a Houston main that scored three, you're pretty much just cooked. I mean, I wasn't really looking. I mean, some of the Royals were interesting. Didn't really like all the Cubs that much. They get 17. I didn't even see that until this morning. Uh, the Braves are in play every freaking slate, but they just ruin everything or no fun. Giants put up 11, and we had three of them. They accounted for about zero of that. Um, yeah, it was just insanity. I mean, the optimal pitchers were like scoring 18 or 20 fantasy points at best, and you were just hoping all your bats got there. Which with what were there 6 double dongs on the slate? That's what you needed it to get to the top.
Yeah, it was like Francisco Alvarez, Austin Riley. I saw both Wilmer Flores home runs, and I just put my head down. I was like, "There's no way." And that was a crazy thing. They never dropped their lineup, but they went into a rain delay. So it was like you were kind of stuck with who you got. But I mean, we had the guys, we didn't have to make pivots. I remember texting Funk. I'm like, Flores just nuked one. He's like, I would have played him if they dropped the damn lineup. Like,
Yeah, I mean it was like 3 minutes before block, and there was no way I was going to switch and post to Twitter in time. So just annoying.
bit of a smaller slate today, which I always kind of like. I don't know why I just like smaller slates, but let's just jump in. So right now, Luis Castillo, Charlie Moore, and Justin Verlander, Carlos Rodon, Eduardo Rodriguez, Yu Darvish, Kenta Maeda. The list goes on and on. This is basically it. Rodon at 7,500 is interesting to me, and he's a second chalkiest guy, but you can get to a lot of bats. But what are you thinking right now?
Yeah, it's always interesting to see when there's 7K pitchers picking up ownership and they're kind of towards the top of the top pitching tool. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Rodon yet. He is underpriced. I mean, he's 8,500 on DraftKings. That means he should be like mid eights at minimum on Fanduel. So 7,500 is just kind of egregious. But I will say, I think Maeda is like a similar play for $300 less playing against Seattle. Just think it's a worse offense. They're both playing on the road. Rodon is, could have some pitch count concerns since this is only his third start back. Um, Other than that, I had Castillo, Verlander, Barrios, Rodriguez in that order. Rodriguez, I wish he was just a little cheaper. Like, I don't think I can justify him over Castillo for $100 more. Morton, I don't think I really want to pay 10 for 3 for him against this offense. We saw them drop 16 yesterday. Doesn't mean they're going to drop 16 today. They could obviously drop 0 today because it's baseball. But just not a spot I'm looking to attack, I don't think. I think either side between Barrios, Darvish, I think either of them could have a solid day. Not really sure which one I would lean towards. Probably Barrios, but God, he always screws us. And then Verlander is in the mix, but he's just kind of meh.
The only reason why I like Rodriguez, I've said it before, um, battle for the AL Central, facing Kansas City, egregious baseball team. Do I like that he's 10-6? Not really, but he's only gaining 4% ownership right now. I think the reason why a lot of people are getting to Rodon, because we have Atlanta on the slate, and they're the best stack right now. I think people want to get to Rodon just so they can pay up for those bets, which it makes sense. Like you said, he might be on a pitch count. I mean, he's playing the Angels. Then again, the Yankees aren't good, so doesn't really matter either way. It's just you hope that Rodon, I don't know, maybe he gives up only one earn, gets you a good amount of Ks, finds a way to get six. That's kind of what you're hoping for. I think if you get the win with him, it's a bonus, but obviously he's 21%. Verlander 95 against the White Sox is interesting, 19%. Charlie Morton against Arizona. Arizona, yeah, they're good. They can just go off whenever, as we saw yesterday. Minnesota has been decent, I guess. Yeah, they've been recently too. They've been good. Castillo 10-5 makes sense. Um, Maeda, like you said, 72, better matchup for him. Just Seattle likes to strike out. Jose Barrios, do I want to play him? No. Because if we play him, he turns into the Jose Barrios we really know that just gets lit up all the time. You mentioned this and you didn't bring it up, but talk about Ashcraft at 66.
Oh yeah, I just when I watched him pitch because I watched the last couple of games when he started, and he's had 3 straight quality starts. Looks like he's feeling a little bit better since his injury. Um, the strikeout stuff really hasn't been there, which is why I probably can't get there, especially in this matchup. San Fran's projected for like 1.6 home runs in this spot, so not a like definitely not like my top 5, but maybe like just a tournament flyer. Ashcraft 600 opens up like everything if the offenses hit today.
Yeah, I think I think that's interesting. He had a game against San Diego where he dropped like 42 or some crap. So I looked at that and I was like, is this the right guy? Um, all right, let's go to stacks. All right, so right now it's got Atlanta, San Fran, Cincy, the Mets, Cubs, Tigers, Yankees, and this is the entire list here. Besides Atlanta, what's standing out? Maybe good pivots off of chalk. What should we get to?
Kind of interesting. Like if you look at the ownership share there, the Yankees at 14%. Like why? I mean, I guess because I've never heard this Chase guy, but compared to all the other top offenses on the slate, like why in the world would I want to go there? Uh, I like San Fran again. I mean, they put up 11 yesterday. We didn't have any part of it, but I think they could do some damage. Like I said against Ashcraft, he's very hit or miss. I also wrote down the Reds on the other side of that game. Detroit looks good again. The Braves. I mean, it's just basically the same team as it has been the last couple days with similar matchups. I don't really see anything else past that. Maybe Chicago against Trevor Williams. They put up a shit ton yesterday. But yeah, San Fran, Cincy, Braves, Detroit, Chicago is probably top 5 for me. Maybe the Mets.
It's a bullpen game for the White Sox, so I can understand getting to some Mets. Cincy against Ross Stripling looks interesting. Both San Fran and Cincy have um wait. San Fran has 1.5% leverage. Cincy has 1.9%. San Fran's stack score is the best on the slate, but obviously the Braves being the Braves have the best stack percentage. I don't really mind either side of that game. Getting to San Fran or Cincy bets is not a bad. I know Ross Stripling can go some innings, but he doesn't strike dudes out. I feel like this is a spot, and Cincy being Cincy, prone to give up some runs.
Yeah,
Cubs
after
against Trevor. Huh?
since he's lost 6 in a row, so they need a win.
I keep thinking back onto when like Ellie got called up. Oh, congrats on your who's a new guy they called up just hit a home run yesterday.
Arnosian Strand.
As I bet on him to hit a home run his first at bat, basically, or his first time in the lineup, and he doesn't do shit. But um, Detroit against Yarborough is kind of interesting. Detroit is always really cheap. 2.4% leverage score. They're tied with the Yankees in terms of stack score. So they're tied for third in terms of stack score. So that seems a little interesting. Um, I don't know this Yarborough kid, so I think Detroit's a decent pivot, and their only ownership share is getting around 5%. So I think that might be a little interesting. I know Funk's gonna roll his eyes at me here. Um, Toronto against Darvish. Darvish is just prone to like give up runs and like just give up a bunch of power. I'm gonna look at Darvish's last like few starts, but 52 against Philly, 18 against the Mets, 24 against San Fran, 12 against Tampa, 28 against the Rockies. So I mean, he's been kind of inconsistent up and down. The issue is with Toronto, we never get them right. I think getting there a little bit would be interesting. If I had to rank them, shit. I agree with Atlanta, San Fran, Cincy in that order. I'd probably then go with like Cubs, Detroit, Mets, and then like Toronto.
Yeah, I think I'd have a similar order.
I was gonna say, I felt like I sounded like an idiot for a second. The thing with Tucson that's starting for the White Sox, he gets a good amount of Ks when he pitches, but then again, it's the White Sox. So, um, let's do the lineup generator. So solve all of our problems. What are we thinking? You want to do all?
Yeah, just hit balance.
You want to lock anyone? Jesus Christ.
Do we want to throw in Rodon?
Oh, what a surprise, Briggs. Oh, damn. Jeez, dude.
So
So,
Riley
stack exposure. Huh?
why did they make Riley 3,400?
That's no fun. So the stakes that we got to really were Atlanta, the Yankees, Mets, and San Fran. Not as much San Fran as I thought, if I'm being honest. But obviously the Braves are the Braves. Yeah, look at this. Obviously wrote down we locked in, but that also gives us Riley Albies. I mean, just look at these price tags. Is Tommy Fan is Tommy Fan still like decent? I remember for a while he was hitting nukes and actually like getting on base and all that.
He hit 34 yesterday.
Oh, Jesus Christ, of course he did.
Before that, it was a bunch of zeros.
There was like a time a few weeks ago where I was seeing a lot of either home runs or he was a part of scoring runs, driving dudes in. Um, yeah, really likes Atlanta right now. Really likes some Mets and some Yankees. Obviously, you can see it here as well. Like, just look at the difference there. Jeez. Um, but yeah, I mean, you can save up to 20 lineups. You can see them all here. Um, I don't know why it only saves 16. Then you can export it to a CSV. You know, you can restart obviously, or just use it as a way to think on what stacks to go to, stacks you don't want to go to. So very good tool. All right, let's wrap this up with home runs. Lead us off.
Gonna go Coors. Gonna go Mr. CJ Cron. Then I'm gonna go to Mookie. So I always pick a Dodger, and then Ryan Mountcastle on the other side of that game.
I'm gonna go with Luis Robert, Anthony Santander, and I'm gonna join you with Dodger Max Muncy. He's due. Chucky didn't go with free money Freddie, but that should just about do it though, unless you got anything else to add.
No, I think we covered everything. Just make sure to check out the lineup about 15 minutes before lock. Hopefully, the Giants don't screw us again and drop the lineup like 20 seconds before lock. But you know, check out Stochastics tools in our description for all the data we just use, and like and subscribe if you haven't already.